everything feels heavy. It started with a cracked mug and a cracked spirit. I was sitting at my desk in my tiny apartment in Austin, Texas, nursing a cold cup of coffee and the feeling that life had gone stale. I had just lost my job downsizing, they said. My relationships were distant, my ambitions even more so. Motivation felt like a foreign language, and every time I tried to start something new, my own mind mocked me, deeper into frustration. It felt like everything around me was designed to remind me of how stuck I was. Bills piled up, unanswered emails glared at me from my screen, and the clock ticked like a metronome to my growing anxiety. I remember opening my laptop, determined to be productive, to turn it all around with one decisive plan, but nothing came. My thoughts were scrambled eggs, overcooked and dry. So, without thinking, I clicked on a stand-up comedy clip that had popped up on YouTube. I figured it would waste a few minutes, but something unexpected happened. I laughed, really laughed. Not just a chuckle, but one of those body-shaking, tear-producing laughs that you don't see coming. It didn't fix my problems, not even close. But for a few minutes, I forgot how hopeless I felt. The tension in my chest eased. My breath came a little easier. That laugh didn't solve anything, yet it shifted something. It cracked open a window in a stuffy room, and that's when my phone rang. It was Murphy, an old friend from high school, calling out of the blue. I hadn't spoken to him in years. He asked how I was doing, and without hesitation, I said, honestly, like a cracked mug, mostly useless and leaking hope. He laughed. You always had a way with words, man. Maybe you just forgot how to laugh at yourself. That moment became the turning point. He further elaborated me about the steps of being motivated through humor. Step 1, meet Murphy, the unexpected mentor. Murphy was a high school friend who had moved back to Texas from California. He was a professional speaker and humor coach, and his videos often popped up on my feed. When I answered his call, he got straight to the point. You sound like a grumpy raccoon, he joked. I chuckled. That's better, he said. Listen, laughter isn't just for fun. It's a tool, a weapon against stress. You want to get your life back? Let's start with a joke. Murphy had faced severe depression after a divorce. What brought him back was not therapy alone, but laughter. He started attending improv classes, learning to laugh at his failures. It gave him perspective. Life's funny if you let it be, he often said. He challenged me to find one funny thing a day and write it down. Step 2, the daily dose of humor. I started small, a pigeon that pooped perfectly on a statue's head. A toddler yelling, "You lied to me," at a vending machine. A pun in a coffee shop. It was silly, but each laugh chipped away at the fog in my brain. Murphy introduced me to Jenna, a single mom from Houston who had overcome burnout using laughter therapy. She made a habit of ending each stressful day with a comedy podcast. It didn't erase the stress, she told me, but it reminded me I was still human, still alive. After a week, I felt lighter, not fixed, but functional. Step 3, reframing failure through humor. Murphy said, next step, laugh at your failures. I rolled my eyes. That's easy for you to say. Exactly, he replied. Because I've failed enough to know that taking yourself too seriously is the real trap. He gave me a challenge. Pick a past failure and write a funny monologue about it. I chose my worst job interview. I bombed every answer. I imagined myself as a spy failing a mission, complete with exploding pens and code names. It was ridiculous and hilarious. He told me about Chris, a former salesman from Dallas, who turned his failed pitch stories into a comedy routine at open mic nights. Not only did he find healing, he gained confidence. Now he trains young salespeople using humor. Step 4. Using humor to face the day. Murphy taught me to use laughter as a morning ritual. Instead of doom scrolling, I watched a funny video. Instead of dreading the day, I said something absurd in the mirror. Today, I shall conquer my inbox with the power of cheese. It rewired my brain. Days started with a smile. I wasn't ignoring problems. I was approaching them with better energy. He shared the story of Emily, a nurse in San Antonio. During COVID, she kept a joke of the day board in the hospital. Her patients laughed. So did her colleagues. It didn't cure the virus, but it softened the emotional toll. Step 5. Humor as connection. As I got better at spotting humor, I found it easier to talk to people. My social anxiety faded. Murphy invited me to a virtual comedy night. I hesitated, but joined. I cracked a few jokes. People laughed. It felt amazing. He introduced me to Mike, an introverted college student in El Paso who used humor to make friends. He started a meme page for his campus, and now he runs a successful marketing agency. I realized humor isn't just healing, it's magnetic. Step 6. When setbacks come back, of course, not every day was funny. Some days I slipped back into old patterns. I felt guilt for laughing when life was still messy. Murphy reminded me, humor doesn't deny the pain. It gives it breathing room. He reminded me of Jordan, a firefighter in Amarillo, who used dark humor to process trauma. With therapy and humor circles, he not only survived PTSD, but now runs workshops for first responders. It made me braver. I allowed myself both tears and laughter. Step 7. Becoming the laugh for others. Eventually, I began sharing my journey online. I posted daily humor reflections, Motivational, as I called them. The messages rolled in. I needed this. Thanks for the laugh. You made my day better. I didn't expect to become a source of strength for others. But, like Murphy said, laughter multiplies when shared. Now, I speak at youth groups and corporate events about the role of humor in resilience. Conclusion. The final punchline. Today, I still journal my daily laughs. I still turn mistakes into monologues. I still hear Murphy's voice saying, "Find the funny." My life didn't suddenly become perfect, but it became livable, then joyful, then meaningful. If you're stuck, overwhelmed, or drowning in self-doubt, here's my advice. Find one thing to laugh at today, then tomorrow, then the next. It might feel silly at first, but give it time. Eventually, you'll discover something profound. Laughter doesn't just heal, it motivates, it connects, it transforms. And sometimes, all it takes to change your life is a single laugh.